The season finale of Married to Jonas is Sunday night on E! Check your local listings, and we've got brother-in-law Mikey, or Michael DeLisa, joining us on the line. Hey, Mike.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Good.
Now, I've always found it fascinating when we get a glimpse inside these famous families, right, thanks to reality TV. Whether that's the Kardashians, Gene Simmons, you've seen all of the shows. So tell me your thoughts, and I'm assuming you knew how big the Jonas Brothers were before the marriage here, but tell me your initial thoughts on being part of the musical family.
Well, actually, the funny thing was, is when Kevin and Danny first met, really didn't have much of an idea of who they were. It wasn't until I remember we were sitting at the hotel when they met in the Bahamas, and then they met on the beach, this and that, and then later on in the day, we wound up seeing a music video for them on the Disney Channel. So it kind of started to connect the pieces there. But it's definitely just a whole nother life. I mean, they got screaming girls running after them all the time, and it was it's definitely a very different way of living.
But come on, you probably had to tease her, hey, this guy's on the Disney Channel. Was there anything like that, or no?
No, honestly, the biggest concern first was just this guy's trying to date my sister, so I had to try to do as much recon work as I possibly could.
Mm-hmm. And I guess that probably adds another element too then, especially when you tour with the Jonas Brothers. You do see all of, as you're saying, the screaming girls and all that, so it's probably pretty intense, I imagine, for him anyway, too.
Yeah, I could see it being very overwhelming.
Now, so on the flip side of that, though, your life then is thrown into the spotlight. I mean, you're in show business anyway as well, but what is that like, having your own family's issues play out in front of the cameras? I mean, again, we see that, as I mentioned, with the Kardashians, right? If you're in a relationship with one of them, that brings everybody else in your family. So how much of a say do you have in the way your family's portrayed on the show, or what's seen? Is that ever awkward?
No, I mean, for the most part, my family's not really too drama-filled. I mean, like every family, we'll have our moments, I guess, but I don't know, I've never really, I guess, our family's never really, had any, huge blowouts or, any, huge scandals going on. So I think for the most part, we've done all right.
Yeah, well, usually the drama is set for the season finales of shows. As I mentioned at the top, the season finale Sunday night. There's a bit of drama, I guess, with Danny at Cosmo, though. So what can we expect on the episode?
Let's see. The last episode, yeah, Danny's definitely kind of dealing with the whole Cosmo shoot, and it's for her. It was a really big deal because it was one of the first times where she was really kind of stepping out on her own and doing something of that nature. So she's definitely there's a little bit of tension there with her trying to get everything settled. All
right, so we're going to talk about your music and everything that you have on the go. If you wouldn't mind sticking around for just another quick segment.
Yeah, sure.
All right, we'll have more with Michael right after this. Michael DeLisa, or Mikey, from Married to Jonas. Again, the season finale Sunday night on E! And in the last segment we were talking about the show. We touched on a little bit about your sister's career, but as I mentioned earlier, you're also in the music business. So you're teamed up, and a lot of people know that you've toured with the Jonas Brothers, but you're teamed up with Ryan Cabrera and then former American Idol contestant David Castro now, right?
Yeah, I'm going to be leaving in June for that tour. We start off and then doing some spot dates as well in Boston and Long Island and New Jersey as well. Mm-hmm.
So lots of dates, as you mentioned, in June. You're going to be Crocodile Rock as well, right?
Yeah, actually just got booked for that on the 29th, and then also have a show coming up for a benefit for Sandy as well.
Oh, okay. Well, so tell me about Too Damn Beautiful, your new single.
Yes, just released it, maybe a week and a half ago. The music video is a compilation of all the footage from when I was over in South America, where they were nice enough to kind of make me feel like a Beatle for a good month and a half. Too Damn Beautiful is definitely a good way of kind of portraying where the new music is kind of headed. Just really trying to stick in that lane of keeping that groove in there. So I'm just very excited. Mm-hmm. have this one out there for people to hear.
And it's tough leading that Beatles lifestyle, isn't it, with the screaming fans and everything? It's too bad.
I mean, you can certainly get used to it. It does have its perks.
Well, let's talk about that. In the last segment, you talked about the Screaming Girls, with the Jonas Brothers. You, of course, toured with them. So let's get to the dirt about the behind-the-scenes stuff, okay? So what kind of craziness? Maybe that's just between the guys, or maybe it's an encounter with their fans. What was something that you witnessed on the road?
I think one of the craziest things that happened for me was after getting my bags in one of the airports, and I mind you, at the time, I had a fractured foot, so I was in a boot. I had all my bags on like a luggage cart, and I'm pushing it to go, out into like the main terminal, and there's a bunch of girls waiting outside, and this is the very start of the tour, and I'm really not thinking much of it, and as soon as I walk out there, pretty much it was like in a zombie apocalypse. You just kind of get swarmed, and people start pulling at you to take photos, and the next thing I know, my luggage cart's getting knocked over, and then one of the security guard shadows sprinting back to come, just grab me and, get me to the car, and it was just, it was completely unreal. I've never dealt with, that much passion before,
Oh, gee. That almost sounds like a scandal that your brother-in-law almost had you killed in an indirect way. Really, I mean, it was.
It's almost, they kind of sent me to the wolves on that. I think everyone was just kind of sitting back and just like, oh, he doesn't even know what he's in for yet. Let him go.
Wow. Well, welcome to the family, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So now there's a whole bunch of info about your music and your tour dates, everything else. What is the website address?
Yeah, if you head right to Delis.com, the music video's up there. All the dates are posted, and pretty much all your Delisa needs are right up over there.
Well, there we are. So that takes care of June with the tour and everything, and then of course, as I mentioned, the season finale, Married to Jonas, Sunday night on E. Check your local listings. Michael, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Today's best music with Jeremy Bradley.